Welcome back. Today we're going to look more closely at how to state impossible goals, how to write them so that they pull you forward toward the result. Now, there are several steps beyond this one, but getting off on a good foot is really important to the whole process that I'm going to teach you over the next several lessons. So, first of all, let's start by looking at what you don't want to do. I'm starting with a negative, and why? Because a lot of times we look at goals and we look at goals that we want to end a bad situation. Like you might say, well, my goal is to stop pollution, or my goal is to not be sick anymore, things like that. And you can see one is kind of a personal goal and another one's a more public goal. But the thing is that we think very visually, and the goal of this lesson is to begin to get a sense of how to write goals in a way that they paint a really positive picture for yourself, and that in itself is self-energizing. So rather than say, my goal is to not be sick anymore, you would say, my goal is to be well, my goal is to be healthy. And you can elaborate a little bit, but you don't really need a whole lot. And again, rather than say, I want to end pollution in this river, you might want to say, this river is clean and full of nature, things like that. And you can already see just by changing those words around. So negative goals can be a great start, but by turning the words around into the outcome you want, you really want to talk about the outcome and really how great it's going to be. Now, what makes it impossible? Like if you had a goal, you say, my goal is to go to the grocery store and buy a package of spaghetti. You already know how to do that. So the aspect or one of the main features of an impossible goal is that you don't know how to do it. It would be great. You have an inkling that you'd like to try, but you just don't know how it's going to go. And one of the most beautiful things just in writing goals in this way and stating them in a positive way that resonates with you, bit by bit, you'll see that information comes to you. And whether it's from your intuition or whether it's, somebody shows up and gives you a little instruction that helps, or maybe you go to the library and find something, or you do research online. I don't know, does anyone go to the library anymore except to use computers? I don't know. I'm a little old school, as you can see. So these are, the words have a creative power that's what I'm here to teach you. There's something about words that allow you and put together in a certain way, and we're going to get better and better at that. And the better you are at bringing your words together, suddenly you begin to see that there's a certain kind of reality and that the cloud is forming and that the rain is going to come. So that's really what this is all about. So now what I want you to do now is grab a piece of paper and a pen. I really recommend not doing this on a computer because there's just something about that connection between your hand and your mind and everything else that's really powerful. And there's a little bit of separation when you try to do this kind of work on a computer. So get a sheet of paper and start writing down goals that you would find appealing. You would find the result to be appealing. You might be afraid to try it. You might think you could never do it. But this will give you kind of a snapshot of what you're aiming for in the world, what inspires you. So write down that list, and I recommend writing a list of goals until you just can't really think of any more. That'll only take you maybe 30 minutes at most. And then once you do that, look at those goals and say, did I state them in the positive? And do they paint a nice picture? Can I really imagine the result clearly? And then the next step that I'd like you to do once you've made that list is just go down the list. You're not going to go and shout on the rooftops to anybody. This is a very personal exercise to cultivate something inside of you. This is not something that I'm going to ask you to go share with anybody. And really, in a lot of ways, sharing with other people is almost the last step even if it's something that you want to do. But it's about, again, cultivating that quality. Like, let's say your goal, my goal is to play electric guitar with a band in a concert hall of 500 people. And now you're beginning to see there's some qualities you can visualize it. What kind of guitar? How many people are there? What kind of band? What kind of music are you playing? And put some color into it. Really get a sense of what it is you want to do. So then, now that you've got goals that are attractive to you and you're kind of refining them, making sure that you could really clearly visualize what that outcome would look like and feel like. And then I want you to score each one 1 to 5 stars, because you'll begin to notice it's like, yeah, I like all these goals, but some call to me more than others. We're not looking for the number one or anything like that. We just want to look and get you to begin to notice that there's different qualities between the goals. So, my goal is to be, is to play a concert, with a band and, play an electric guitar in a concert. I'm not, you could refine that. My goal is to be healthy and run a marathon. Or, my goal is that the river in town is clean and a happy place for wildlife and people. You see what I'm saying? So you can cultivate these goals, and as you do that, you'll begin to see that there's a kind of inner resonance with you. And the more you can cultivate that inner resonance with you, you'll begin to see that the results get progressively easier. The possibility of achieving these impossible goals grows. And that's what we want to do. We want to do that. We want to get them closer and closer to you being able to say, I know this is going to be hard, or I don't know how to do it, or whatever hesitation you might have, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's really the goal. And this is the first step of several that will get you to that point where you can progress with confidence into doing things that you don't know how to do already. So thanks a lot for listening, and I will see you in the next lesson.